The tales of history have its stage, and we are blessed to be stumbling upon one of them right now. Welcome to Spa-Francorchamps, a track that has been very much a fixture in all that has been motor racing excellence, particularly in Formula One since 1950. And despite absences of this track before the present day, and since the inauguration of the Formula One World Championship, Spa is still a home and an epicentre of flavour, passion and brilliance. Welcome to Zoom Racing League, which will be diving into the unknown around this stellar circuit. The X Division are back on this Saturday evening once more, and we are very much thrilled to have all of you that are watching these drivers tackle the Spa-Francorchamps circuit for the Belgian Grand Prix. I am Ben McCarthy, and I will be taking you through proceedings tonight. So then, what an event we have ahead of us. Like I say, Spa is a classic, and that is an understatement. The sweeping corners of Rouge, Radion, Pouon, Blanchimont. And of course, you have some of the images of Formula One history being untold through the years. You had Michael Schumacher versus Mika Hakkinen back in the year 2000, the McLaren driver leaping ahead of Michael Schumacher down the Kemmel Straights. The drivers going either way of Ricardo Zonta, a lapped BAR car, and Hakkinen sweeps past into the lead. We've had some stellar races like 1998 as well. That's multi-car collision going on towards Rouge in sodden conditions. You had Damon Hill winning the race. You had Giancarlo Fisichella's horrendous shunt going into the bus stop chicane, and other classic races as well. Michael Schumacher crowning himself a 7-time world champion in 2004. We had the hectic 2010 Belgium Grand Prix with crashes and spins left, right and centre. The crashes at La Source in 2012 and 2018. Sebastian Vettel roaring down the Kemmel Straight past Lewis Hamilton and seizing the lead in 2018. This is a track to be celebrated, and this is a track that should be very much restored to the modern vision of Formula One. Whether the Belgian Grand Prix in real life this weekend is the last of its era, we shall relish every moment enriched upon this tarmac. So then, qualifying is underway and our drivers are tackling this circuit. 4.4 miles to be completed on each and every lap. And the first of them will be Itschrei in the Alpine, roaring down the Kemmel Straight into the Les Combes chicane, where we had a multi-car collision in 2009 between Romain Grosjean, Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button. Itschrei though keeping it on road for the moment. We have yellow flags out across the track at the moment on the exit of the No Names corner. And you can see there the Mercedes of M. Shamma getting out of Itschrei's way, but as the Alpine puts down the power, he is going to rage towards Pouon. A left-hander, you really need to be pinpoint perfect on turning. Too early, you'll clout the curb. Too late, you'll go off-road. This is a punishing track, and that is why we love it. Itschrei, though, is rising to the challenge so far, and through the exit of Stavelot, he puts down the power permanently, and he will race on towards the finish line to complete each and every corner, 19 corners to be exact, of this Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and to bring about the first lap in qualifying. So then, the Alpine into the bus stop chicane goes way too deep on the brakes. That compromises his line off of the exit of the chicane, but as he reaches the line, it's a time of a 1:44.419. Wild, though, displaces him immediately. Half a second is the gap he has to the Alpine, and it's a 1:43.854. M. Shamma is starting a lap. Dravesport is nearing the completion of his left lap, and let's follow his progress into the bus stop chicane, which was revived for the 2007 Belgian Grand Prix. Dravesport with DRS now wide open as the rear end gets away from him a little bit. Dravesport onto the front row in his Aston Martin. forward then with M. Chama in the silver arrow, looking to pierce through the hearts and dreams of his opposition here at Spa-Francorchamps. Through the middle sector, he's guiding his Mercedes through the corners, using the curve adroitly on exit, not getting out too wide to throw his lap away, but he's showing decent amount of speed so far. Does get a little bit wide out of Pouon, but it seems like the speed is being maintained. Into Fagna, right, left, puts down the power, another right is in sight, gets the front end turned in, puts the rear, puts the throttle down, the rear not really complying, but M. Chama still racing away, and we have a spinner there. It seems like it's, no it's not, it's Weil. Weil in the Red Bull, who sits on provisional pole, has gone for a spin-off of the exit of Stavelot. And that will certainly compromise his efforts if he was going for a follow-up on his provisional pole time so far. M. Chama not really, the rear is really at odds with him at the moment. He's 1.2 seconds down on Weil's pole time. But at the end of the lap, when the grip is starting to fall away, you are fighting the car. And one driver that is fighting the leaderboard at the moment is Jacob, the second Alpine in this session. He is now hunting down a time of a 1:43.782. Freddie Razzle in the Aston Martin goes quickest of the lot. He is 7/100ths clear of Weil. So across this 4.4 mile circuit, the limits and the gaps are just so small. So Jacob arrives into Fagna, where we saw Lewis Hamilton crash in 2019 and where we saw Charles Leclerc spin off earlier today, but Jacob avoids such trouble. The exit of Stavelot throws the Alpine car in, and it's a very, very promising middle sector there from Jacob. He is reeling in a lap time to set him to the top of the timing board. Spa is alive, the drivers are alive and are ready to face the challenges and reap the rewards. Jacob has one more corner to complete. He puts the power down permanently. He reaches the line, but he's not able to leap ahead of Freddie Razzle. The Aston Martin still on provisional pole. Dublin, Technic Speedy, last paper, all three of them are on outlaps. Now it seems like we have yellow flags out through the first sector, and we have yellow flags through the final section. I believe that might be Max Verstappen. Let's go back then to Dublin in the Red Bull off of the exit of La Source. Now this here is one of the jewels in motorsport images. The race through Rouge, and Rajon Petit goes wide there, does Dublin, and he throws the lap away. So Dublin will not be registering a lap time right now. And his chances, his qualifying session has been derailed just a little bit. Duncan, though, in the McLaren is now on a lap as well. And let's follow his progress. At the end of the first sector, Duncan is a time of 1 out of the 30.4. The team have not won at the Belgian Grand Prix for 10 years. Jenson Button, of course, converting his one and only McLaren pole position into race victory. Let's see if McLaren can enjoy success in ZRL X Division. Duncan throwing the car into Pouon. Now we have last paper disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. So last paper, who was running very well in this session, will not be competing anymore. So then Duncan into Blanchimont. arriving at the bus stop chicane, getting it slowed perfectly, turning that McLaren car into the final apex of this lap and completing a lap time that's good enough for P8, 1.5 seconds down on the best time we have seen so far. But the drivers are out on the track once more, one of them being Wild. So Wild through the first sector, improving by 3/4 of a tenth. He's chucking the Red Bull through the corners of Spa-Francorchamps. It makes for a jaw-dropping sight. It's palpitating, it's nerving, but Wild is oblivious to all barriers that Spa is throwing at him right now through the exit of No Name's corner and racing on towards Pouon. Getting the front end flipped in, having the power put down and reaching speeds barely comprehensible. Arriving into Fagnes, it's the right turn, then it's another left. It seems that it's a bit understeery there for the Red Bull. He isn't really able to carry much speed as he'd like through the apex of the corners. But he's improving by 1/4 of a second. It may not look perfect for the Red Bull, but he's eking out every ounce of potential out of himself and his Red Bull machine. Into Blanchimont, where we saw a horrific crash earlier in Formula 3, and arriving at the bus stop chicane, the final corner of this lap. He has Freddie Razzle in sight. The Aston Martin is on pole position, but not for much longer. Wild displaces him by 1/10 of a second. Freddie Razzle, though, in response, is not able to go quicker through the first sector. These drivers are really giving us a treat around this track. Freddie Razzle is treating us to something truly sublime. It is a sublime image as the Aston Martin races through every single corner in his pursuit of pole position, which was formerly held by Weil, but snatched back by Freddie Razzle. The Aston Martin back on provisional pole. He had the perfect response to the Red Bull. The marker has been laid, it's been lowered, but Freddie Razzle rises to the occasion at the grandest of scenes. Chama then improving by 3.5 tenths in his Mercedes on his latest lap. He sits 9th. He improves to P7, so it's provisionally a 4th row start for the Mercedes. As his teammate has been disqualified from the session, he is flying the flag for the Silver Arrows, is Chama. Let's see what he can do in the remaining 4 minutes of qualifying. So we are right on board then with our championship leader, Dublin, who is 55 points ahead of Itchry in the standings. He seems dominant, he seems serene, he seems impervious to all pressure, and he's running away in this division. But the opposition wants to claw back the deficit, but Dublin wants to put his foot on the throats of the drivers who look to rein him in. But what a truly important lap that is from Dublin. He was running astray, he was running without promise, but that promise has been delivered. He leaps up into the top 3 and he registers his competitive nature once more around Spa-Francorchamps. The championship leader has arrived and he has a place in this battle for supremacy around Spa. So then, hookage Roldy in the Williams. Through Radion onto the Kemmel straight. You can see the Haas ahead, weaving from left to right. That will be a Logan on his outlap. But the Williams arriving into Lake Calm. Let's have the telemetry on the screen and let's see what he is reaching. So then, so you can see the Haas ahead. It's going to be initially 7th gear, but brought down into 2nd there. He climbs back up through the gears once more into No Name's corner. Comes off the throttle slightly, but puts it down permanently once more as he arrives into Pouon. Not quite flat out there for the Williams, but he still runs in 7th gear. You can see the battery level is still quite healthy. He will want to use much of it on the run towards Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. Oh, and the rear of the Williams car gets away from hookage. He taps the wall and he throws away his attempt. Spa is notoriously punishing, and hookage Roldy has just learnt why. He was 2/3 of the way through completing his lap. But it's not going to be a lap that recognises any competition. Dublin, Technic Speedy have both retired from this session. It seems like they know they will not be improving in the final 90 seconds of qualifying. Remember, there is no Q2 or Q3. This is it. This is for the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix here in Zoom Racing League X Division. But out in front, it seems like it's going to be a battle between Freddie Razzle and Weil for pole position. Weil down the Kemmel straight. He has won 2 race. No. Ignore what I just said. Weil then, who sits 4th in the championship, and he spins out. Oh my, he looked like he was going for pole position, but that chance has come and it has gone through the exit of Malmedy. In a similar way to how Max Verstappen lost the car in 2021, but this time to the other side of the track. Weil will not be starting this race from pole position, but Freddie Razzle will look to extend his advantage. Itchry in the Alpine has one last attempt to rein in the front runners. He sits on the 2nd row. Dublin will not be improving. Weil will not be improving. Can the Alpine leap ahead of the 2 Red Bulls in a dying run? No, it doesn't seem like he'll be able to. He's 1.3 seconds down on his best time so far. Draperspor, though, improving through the 1st sector. CVTX Mask is improving by a 10th through the first 2 sectors. Weil goes for a spin once more. It just compounds a miserable last start attempt in his pursuit of pole position. But as his chance goes, the chance for others may be coming about for CVTX Mask in the McLaren, who comes round the bus stop chicane with DRS wide open and with the checkered flag in sight. CVTX Mask rises to the occasion, but it's only enough for P4. Draperspor. What can he do now? It sits P6. He's improving by 3.5 tenths. This is a stellar attempt from Draperspor. His teammate sits on pole position and is closing in on pole position here at Spa. He tries to overtake the McLaren going into the bus stop chicane. It's going to cost him quite a little bit. But as he has DRS wide open and as he reaches the flag, he improves once more. He's half a second clear of the opposition as Draperspor joins him on the front row. It's a front row lockout for Aston Martin. And those first 2 spots are for your eyes only, Aston Martin. It's a phenomenal qualifying session. It's supremacy in Spa, and speed has been demonstrated in the most lightning way for Aston Martin. Freddie Razzle on pole position, Draperspor P2, and the 2 Aston Martins will head the field for the Belgian Grand Prix. And you can see Freddie Razzle on pole position by nearly half a second from Traverspor, while third for Red Bull. But there you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that is your qualifying order. I'm just going to drop down into the final few places. But it is Aston Martin, the green machines, that glitzy, glittering Aston Martins have blitzed the field here in qualifying at Spa-Francorchamps, and Freddie Razzle takes the honours on 1 lap pace. But what will 22 laps around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit for Freddie Razzle yield? But we have an intriguing race ahead of us, with dark clouds gathering overhead here at Spa-Francorchamps, with many truths to be told, for many drama to be realised, and for sensation to be valued. ZRL has delivered it in the past 1.5 seasons for the X Division, but here for the Belgian Grand Prix, another incredible chapter may just be written. The clock ticks down. The action nears. And it will soon be lights out for ZRL once more. This is one of the most jaw-dropping sights in motorsport. It's one of the classics on the Formula One calendar. And it is going to be a moment to cherish for our drivers. So you can see the drivers on their starting tyres. We have the front two starting on the hards. We have Itchfry, Technic Speedy, Leo Kritis, Macfus, Dupen and Klinsmann all on the hard tyres as well. The rest are on the medium, so it's a split strategy amongst the field, and that will certainly yield interest. And you can see there, Freddie Razzle on the formation lap, dropping the rear of the car through the Les Combes chicane. And for a man starting from pole position and who really was in a class of his own in qualifying, that is going to be a wake-up call. We will hope that will not foreshadow disaster in this race, but we will have to see. Traverspor is now the lead driver, but of course Freddie Razzle will still start from pole position. Drivers arrive at Blanchimont, where we had a horrific crash in Formula 3 earlier. We realised once more that through all the sensation that Spa births, lying beneath the surface is horror and sometimes tragedy, as we learnt with Antoine Hubert in 2019. Spa is glitzy, it's glamorous, and it's truly glorious as well. And we hope that will be honoured in this Belgian Grand Prix, courtesy of ZRL's X Division. The drivers arrive to the grid, ready to get underway for this race. Freddie Razzle leading an Aston Martin front row. And it seems like the last few drivers just lining up on the grid for the start of this race. So then, we have the lights on and we are ready to get going here for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Freddie Razzle getting a good start. It seems like Drabersport is struggling off the line. They're racing into and there's contact, it seems, there between Drabersport and the Red Bulls. But Freddie Razzle still leading this race, and there is even more contact off of the exit of La Source. Some drivers spinning there, but we have Wild chasing down Freddie Razzle through and onto the Kemmel Straight, with Dublin lurking in the distance. It seems like Freddie Razzle will look to hold the initiative going into Les Combes. Wild then, is he going to make a last dart attempt into the corner? No, he is not. But it seems like a lot of drivers making contact with one another. We have Matt Verstappen at the rear of the field for the moment, as we have Chonk around the outside of Cushley, the Alfa Romeo company, in 7th place. But it's a hectic start here at Spa. Once more, as we have learnt through the years, Spa does certainly deliver some action, as Last Paper is realising as he goes for a spin off the exit of Malmesey. There is debris almost glued to the wall off the exit of that corner. No virtual safety car or safety car has been deployed just yet. But it has been a smooth getaway for Freddie Razzle so far, but Weil is staring him down. You can see the big winners and losers so far from this race. Klinsmann gaining 9 places on the very first lap. He is on a charge. The big losers from the start, Drabersport, CVTX Mars, are amongst them. But it's the battle for the lead on the end of the first lap. Weil is chasing down Freddie Razzle into the bus stop chicane. The Red Bull grants himself the inside line, and with it, the race lead. The medium compound tyres are firing up, and the Aston Martin, who dominated qualifying, relinquishes the lead by the end of lap 1. But Freddie Razzle is not willing to yield just yet. He did give Weil into the tap off the exit of La Source. Dublin holds an interest in seizing P2 off of the exit of Radjon. Seems like he didn't really carry the line that he would have wanted down the Kemmel Straight. No DRS in action just yet. That will be introduced on the 3rd lap. So we have Klinsmann and Chonk going wheel to wheel. The Haas inching ahead as they emerge on towards the end of the Kemmel Straight, and it's Klinsmann up into P7 ahead of Chonk. Technic Speedy in 9th ahead of Jacob. A bit of a train forming amongst these drivers, headed by Cushy, I should say, who really has not shown the speed that he would want on those medium tyres. But he runs. Oh, and there's multiple spinners off the exit of the no-name corner, 3 of them to be exact. It's Technic Speedy, Jacob, and it seems like CVTX Mask as well, and you can see the 2 Williams coming to blows through Puon. Caldi has got the worst of the contact and drops down the to Logan. Through the Fania section of this track, the Haas dropping down the order, and it's absolute melodrama unfolding before our eyes here at Spa-Francorchamps. But Freddie Razzle is looking to seal back the race lead once more into the bus stop chicane. It seems like he is generating temperature into his tyres. And there is Chonk on the run up towards Blanchimont. The Alfa Romeo goes for a spin and drops down into P19. And it's been the start from hell for Chonk in this race. It has been the exact opposite for Weil, who leads this race. The Aston Martins locked out the front row. They do not run in the lead at the moment. But Freddie Razzle is showing promising pace on these hard compound tyres. He will have DRS, and with it a chance to take back the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. The top 3 running nose to tail. It's everything indicative about this racing division, and Freddie Razzle, in his pursuit for the race lead, is almost shoving Weil around the corners. On board with CVTX Mask, hunting down the Ferrari into Les Combes, and it seems like Matt Verstappen through the exit of Radyon has gone off-road. He may have had a spin, but he's dropped down into 19th. And he may have wounded his Alpha Tauri car as well. But what an epic start it has been to this Belgian Grand Prix. While leading this race, Freddie Razzle still very much looks in contention, with Dublin running third. The championship leader has had his problems. He hasn't really shown the speed that he has crafted in earlier rounds this season. It's his teammate that leads out in front, but we have a three-way battle for the race lead. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We're on board now with Logan in the Haas, racing towards Blanchimont. Soon after that will come the bus stop chicane. The Haas getting out wide there. That is not going to help his run into the bus stop chicane. After running off-road just a lap ago, he is regrouping and he is looking to revive his race, but the exit of the bus stop chicane is not a healthy one. Leo Kritis is staring him down. He wants to seize the final top 10 place into La Source. The Haas hangs it around the outside, but loses it and collects the Ferrari. Leo Kritis dropping down the order, and his race takes a major hit. You can see as well that's it Shry through Radion. He has gone for a spin, he's avoided the wall. But this is absolutely hectic here at Spa. It's Spa sensation. It is truly remarkable. The drama is in an abundance so far, and we're only 3.5 laps into this Belgian Grand Prix. This is Zoom Racing League at its very best, and we treasure it. There's Callide in the Williams, and it seems like a Wild. Wild is now down into seconds. Freddie Razzle is down into third. Dublin, out of absolutely nowhere, is into the lead. That is stupefying. Dublin, who was running in P3, now out in front. It may have been that Weil and Freddie Razzle have come to blows, with Drabastor now lurking in the distance. It seems like he has got his tyres up to temperature and he has gathered some momentum. But the championship leader, who is not looking particularly strong compared to his teammates, may have just been handed a slice of lady luck. But that's motorsport, and Dublin seizes that as we start lap 5. There's Chama going off-road. He's retired from this race. But the two Bulls, will they lock horns as they now run first and second here at the Belgian Grand Prix? Dublin took the lead just a lap ago. He does not want to relinquish it. Weil wants it back. He sets the fastest first sector we have seen so far. But we're riding on board with it Shry, who looks to progress past B-Boy Simba to the outside of Lecom. He dares. He's going to cut underneath the Alfa Romeo and put down the power, but he's not able to progress past as Weil. Now down into P3, Freddie Razzle up into P2. So Dublin extends his lead out in front, and the tables are being turned here at Spa. Yeah, flag through sector 2. Is that done? No, it's not. It's CBTX mask through Pouon. The McLaren dropping further down the order, down into 13th. Make that 14th. And Pouon is catching many drivers out at the moment. B-Boy Simba still defending from its Shry. They will continue their battle into Blanchimont. And lap 5. Or nearing the conclusion of lap 5 of this Belgian Grand Prix. It's Shry running out wide. I wonder if he has front wing damage. But Jacob closing in on his teammates going into the bus stop chicane. He isn't able to make the move, but down the start-finish straight. What a delicious exit that is from Jacob. He's closing in on his teammates. The two Alpines battling it out on the start of lap 6 here at Spa. Jacob tucking underneath his teammate, a CVTX mask, progressing past Leocritus, but on towards Rouge and Radion. Terrific speeds building up. Itchrai wants to build that up down the Kemmel Straight. He's going to have DRS on B-Boy Simba, but Jacob behind may have a plausible chance of getting past the pair of them. Itchrai up into 8th. Jacob has the inside line and also gets past the Alfa Romeo. So it's 2 Alpines progressing up the order as B-Boy Simba loses 2 places in a heartbeat, but you can see Jacob getting out wide. The Alfa Romeo isn't able to punish him. Is Technic Speedy closing in on Logan. This is a battle for 11th place. But let's quickly have a look at the penalties. Draverspor, Logan, Last Paper, Chunk and Mac Verstappen all have earned themselves time penalties, the majority of them for track limits. You see there is a train forming behind Logan. And you can see Technic Speedy dropping out of that train. He spins out and is buried and nestled down into 15th place. We've seen many spins so far in this race with drivers seemingly not immune to the punishing nature that is this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. But on lap 7 now, Weil, who runs behind Draverspor, will want to seize back that podium place. Draverspor, who was struggling off the start, has reeled in the opposition and runs in the podium places. But the pace shown by both Aston Martins has to be encouraging. On weaker tyres in terms of speed, they still are in the battle for the lead. And that's just indicative of the pace that they have been running at since the green flag in qualifying. Logan rejoining the track behind Mac Verstappen. Last Paper coming out as the final driver, or rejoining the track as the final driver on the road. But now it seems like Draverspor, with Weil closing in and also Klinsmann, this is going to be a riveting battle for the final podium place. But these three separated by just over a second. On board with Klinsmann, who's shown good pace on the hards, though he does have a 3-second time penalty. He'll be encouraged to be right behind a medium runner who was leading the race at one stage. Freddie Razzle still has his eyes set upon Dublin, the Red Bull, still leading the race as we race on to lap 8 of this Belgian Grand Prix. There's been a spinner and it's Logan through Pouon. That adds to the tally of errors we have seen through that corner so far in this race. But let's focus back on this battle for the final podium place. Weil running out wide, or not really getting his line right through Rouge. That didn't help him through Radion, but onto the Kemmel Straight. That little error there is going to cost him because he's not able to battle past the Aston Martin going into Les Combes. He can't even make an impression going into Les Combes. So Draverspor breathes and breathes as he still occupies the final rostrum place. But Freddie Razzle still closing in on our race leader. Pouon has been a tricky corner for many years. Of course, Felipe Nasser crashing in 2015 at that corner. Antonio Giovinazzi crashing on the final lap of the 2019 edition of the Belgian Grand Prix. It's always been notoriously tricky, and some of our drivers have had to learn. Why is Logan out of the race? The Haas through the exit of Radion has impacted the wall and meets the conclusion of his race. No safety car or virtual safety car has been deployed as of yet. But we are brought down to 18 runners in this Belgian Grand Prix. M. Chama retired earlier on. Logan has joined him on the sidelines. Another lap. Another lap in the lead for Dublin. But his lead seems more and more under threat through every passing corner and metre of this race. The man that started this race from pole position is asserting his authority once more through Rouge and Radion once more, and down the Kemmel Straight once more. He will have DRS. He'll get in the slipstream of the Red Bull. Does he have a chance going into Les Combes chicane? He's closing, and he's closing again, but not close enough. Is Freddie to make a move into Les Combes. Weil now goes through for a spin to the exit of Radion, so drops down into P6 as Klinsmann is now right up the rear wing of Draverspor. But Weil, who was once leading this race, that sensation out in front feels a distant memory now for the Red Bull. He sees his teammates out in front. He sees himself down in P7. Our race leader then is coming under fierce pressure from Freddie Razzle, the Aston Martin. He is glaring, he is staring, and he is looking to pierce through the lead that Dublin holds. Into the bus stop. Revised for the 2007 Belgian Grand Prix. We've seen moves in the past going into that corner. We won't really see it pass here, but it is a change of leaders. Dublin now pits, gets it stopped, ready for the pit lane entry. So Freddie into the lead, Draverspor into second with Klinsmann up into the podium places, but into La Source. He's very deep on the brakes. He's going to run out wide and he spins out. Through the brilliance that the Hats has shown, a mistake has popped up. And it stabs him in the most catastrophic way. Cushy passes him for P3, and the Haas, with wounded tyres, has a wounded pursuit of a possible podium place. He's not going to be able to pass Cushy going into Les Combes. He has shown the speed as Klinsmann. He has shown brilliant speeds, and he has had the measure of himself so far. Not until now. Chonk then closing in on Weil, passing the Red Bull as the Weil now making his pit stop. So he rejoins behind the Alfa Romeo. We have yellow flags out in sector 3. I'll have to see why. No major contact, it seems. But Klinsmann still closing in on Cushy's. Weil getting around the outside of Chonk, going into Les Combes on fresher tyres. Is he able to seize the initiative? No. Chonk fights back, going into Malmedy. But as they put down the power, Weil is hunting down that occupation of 10th place. They're running wheel to wheel, the Alfa Romeo, going off-road and relinquishing the place. It was a laboured battle for both of these drivers, but Weil had the upper hand in the end. And Chonk, who had his tyres in a better range for the moment, now sees Weil race away into the Belgian Grand Prix day as Technic Speedy loses a place to Dunk. It seems like he's had a problem through the Fania complex. Because as Cushy pits now, Klinsmann takes over occupation of P3. But here now is Jacob. He's closing in on Chonk. His tyres are 1 lap old. He's going to try and make a move going into Blanchimont. Is he going to chance a move to the inside? No, but he's still in the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. They race on towards the bus stop chicane. To the outside, the Alpine goes. He isn't able to make the move. Hulkage Roldy, though, out of the race through the exit of Malmedy. And he has exited this race, but Weil up into P9 now with some drivers pitting, one of them being Technic Speedy, who's lost his front wing. But this is absolutely hectic here at Spa. The 2 Ferraris now going wheel to wheel, and Leo Kreitis getting ahead of his teammates. Cushy, who has not yet got his tyres up to temperature just yet, is displaced by his teammates. And there's CVTX Mask down the Kemmel Straight, breezing past B-Boy Simba. So the McLaren up into 11th place. We have seen plenty of overtakes here at Spa this afternoon. And there's Chonk and Technic Speedy igniting in battle the AlphaTauri around the outside. He chances the move. Is he able to make it stick? He puts down the power and he races away from the Alfa Romeo. Technic Speedy. It is stellar. Simply sensational. He got his elbows out and he used it to absolute effect. So crisp, so classy, and just so clean. The AlphaTauri providing what may have been the overtake of the race. Simply stellar. Here is CVTX Mask hunting down Jacob in the battle for P10. Cushy is reasserting himself in the battle between the two Ferraris. CVTX Mask registering the fastest lap of the race so far on a 1:47.5. As we now have yellow flags through Sector 3, and there is Last Paper clobbering the wall. Matt Verstappen has also clobbered the wall. So contact through Blanchimont. Seems like these two are going to incur damage, but not race-ending damage. So Last Paper into the pits to change his front wing and to bolt on a fresh new set of soft compound tyres. But here is Cushy, growing ever larger in his teammates' rear wing mirrors. Freddie Razzle! Oh my word, Freddie Razzle retires from the race out of the lead and the safety car has been deployed. That is scarcely believable. He crashes down the start-finish straight. And the inverse proportionality of speed and sensation and the depths of despair have struck the Aston Martin. The pole sitter had a chance. He had a strong chance in winning this race. But he's out of this race. Melodramatic madness here in Zoom Racing League once more. Every twist, every turn, every tremble of fear and quake of nerve erupts and reverberates in the most dumbfounding way. Freddie Razzle, who stood the grandest of chances of converting pole position into the race win, has been dealt the most dejecting blow. Dublin then back into the race lead. He leads from Drabersport, Klinsmann in P3 ahead of Cushy. But down the start-finish straight, it is a sorry tale of dejection for Freddie Razzle. So then the safety car, the first safety car of this Belgian Grand Prix, has been deployed. Lap 13 of 22. Dublin leads, but Drabersport is on younger, softer tyres. It could still lend into an Aston Martin win, but Freddie Razzle drowns in the depths of despair. The pack are going to close up on one another and are ready to vie for supremacy. They're about to ignite in battle once more. here at Spa-Francorchamps. Dublin has track position. He is without penalty as well. Draverspor looks in the box seat, but he will have to convert his chance that his teammates failed to do. So then, with 9 laps of this race remaining, Dublin takes control. Draverspor, though, will look to crumble Dublin's control and occupation of the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix. It's going to be a race to the end. It's going to be a very, very intriguing race to the end. Make sure you get ready. This is going to be something very, very special. I have to see first if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap. It doesn't seem it will, so it will be another lap under the safety car as these drivers look to get their tyres up to temperature, as well as light of last paper. Khalid, Chonk and Max Verstappen to just join the pack. So it's the hards on Dublin's Red Bull. It's the mediums on Draverspor. There's softs on Duncan's car, on Last Paper's car. There is a variety of strategy taking hold. But could it land in the favour of Draverspor, who got a cheap pit stop under the safety car as his teammates crashed out of proceedings? The sun is staring down on Spa, and it looks to shine on one driver. Who will it be? The favourites look to emerge from the abyss of madness here in Zoom Racing League. But who is going to grip their chance with the utmost ambition and execution? Chances came and chances went for the likes of Freddie Razzle and perhaps Weil as well. It's left Draverspor and Dublin out in front. Dublin, the championship leader, does not have a time penalty. Draverspor in second does. So we see Last Paper now retiring from the race. He has crashed through Rouge and Radion as Khalid almost makes contact with him as well. But Last Paper in the Mercedes becomes the latest driver to crash out of the Belgian Grand Prix. And that must have been some impact there to make the Wolves at the exit of Radion. Seems like the safety car may be peeling off into the pits at the end of this lap, and indeed it will. Dublin takes over the reins. He will control the field. He will choose when to put the power down. There will be no overtaking until the start-finish line to Trabzonspor, knowing that he can't make a move on this lap. But we ride on board with him now. He will want to still be in close proximity to Dublin. He has a time penalty to overcome. He has a track position deficit to overcome. He has his chance when he sees it, as we will have 7 laps left of this Belgian Grand Prix. This has been a sensational Spa story so far in Zoom Racing League. It has been a race that has flirted with fantasy. Let that fantasy continue on into these final laps as Dublin leads the field for lap 16 of 22 here at the Belgian Grand Prix. Trabzonspor is now about 0.8 of a second behind the Red Bull. It's been the start of dreams for Dublin on this safety car restart. Klinsmann is closing in on Trabzonspor as well. Seems like they're making it neat and tidy through the first couple of corners, but Dublin has eked out a gap of over a second. Collide has had a spin through the exit of Vert Rouge, so it's one driver that hasn't made it through there cleanly. This Technic Speedy passing B-Boy Simba down the Kemmel Straight. Duncan making a move as well. He's going to go side by side with the Alpha Tauri, who's going to emerge ahead. The McLaren around the outside. He's going to dance and dazzle around the outside, and they make contact. The McLaren bears off worse and is put into a spin. It was a chance he could not seize. It was a tease that came of no avail. Wild dropping down the order, making contact with Leo Kreitis. They're going to run side by side into Pouon. In the end, Wild grants himself 8th place as Max Verstappen right in the rear wing of Chong. But still, hectic stuff at this safety car restart. Dublin out in the lead by a second. It seems like someone's had a spin through the Fanya section, and that is Chong. Duncan passes him, and the Alfa Romeo drops down into P14. Trabzonspor, though, is within a second of Dublin. Klinsmann, though, is around half a second behind the Aston Martin. They race on into the bus stop chicane. CVTX Mask around the outside of Jacob. He isn't going to be able to make the move. The Alpine holding the racing line, and with it the position. But down the start-finish straight, is anyone able to make a move? Technic Speedy closing in on Leo Kreitis into La Source. Around the outside of La Source, they're going to put the power down. It doesn't seem like a move is going to come about. But here is Itshrai, hunting down Cushy for P4. On board with the Alpine, who seizes the inside line and leaves Cushy in his mirrors. Itshrai on the medium compound tyres fancies his chances in this race. He is the closest challenger to Dublin, who has not got a time penalty to overcome. There is still a tremendous twist ready to be realised here at Spa. But who will seize it? Who will cherish it? We will have to see. The top 4 separated by 2.5 seconds. Of course, we have to remember, I was going to say Klinsmann, who started this race from P19, he runs in the podium places. This race is still very much on for the Haas driver, but he will have to pass Trabzonspor. His chance may come when DRS is enabled on the next lap. But here is CVTX Mask launching yet another attack going into the bus stop chicane. Jacob braking to the inside. He still maintains the place. But CVTX Mask is growing large in his mirrors as we start lap 18 of 22. 5 more tours to be contested here at Spa. Dublin has a lead of over a second. Trabzonspor may have had a chance, but he is not capitalising upon it at the moment. Klinsmann has DRS on the Aston Martin down the Kemmel Straight. He pulls to the inside of the Aston Martin, and he is going to claim second place, demoting Drapersport down into P3, while passing CVTX Masters Leo Kreitis joining in the battle. The Ferrari, is he able to make a move into Lake Holm? No, CVTX Master holding the inside line. That brings Technic Speedy into the battle onto the inside of Malmedy. He was chancing a move with hope there, but he backed out of it at the very last moment. But Klinsmann, who started this race from the back row, could still win this race. I cannot believe I am saying that. This has been a joy of a race so far. Spa in all its sensation and its scintillation is delivering once more. Klinsmann is within half a second of Dublin. He registers the fastest middle sector we have seen so far. He is a few car lengths away, about 10 car lengths away from a race lead that he would reject the notion of running in at the start of this race. Weil is on the defensive. CVTX Mars, can he launch an attack going into the bus stop chicane? No. He is still very much lurking in the distance. Leo Kreitis and Technic Speedy are also in the battle. But 4 more laps to be completed. Dublin leads this race. Klinsmann, though, looks quicker. He has a time penalty to overcome, but he needs to make a move first. With DRS wide open, Dublin defending to the inside, trying to pull out of the slipstream, but Klinsmann is trying to cling on to him. No moves being made into the Lake Holm chicane. CVTX Mask closing in on Weil. Oh, that's a massive crash. Down the Kemmel Straight, Technic Speedy colliding there with Leo Kreitis. And he thunders into the wall and out of the Belgian Grand Prix. The safety car, the full safety car, has been deployed once more. And that is a high-speed impact there. And the drivers came a cropper, bringing out the second safety car of this race in the dying stages. Seems like we may have one lap of racing to be had. But it seems like Dublin may just be able to hold on. So of course we will have to see, but his chance is growing larger and larger as it now seems. CVTX Mars spinning onto the safety car for the exit of Stavila. And the McLaren going for a spin. Drops down into P10. That is unbelievable. It seems like Duncan, the other McLaren, has had problems under this safety car as well. This is absolute madness for McLaren. It's mayhem as well. Duncan, CVTX Mask, both pitting. They will have to double stack. So then, 3 laps left of this race. We will have a maximum of 2 laps racing. We are nearing the conclusion of a crazy race here at Spa. This is to foreshadow what the Belgian Grand Prix will be like tomorrow. It will be something to remember. So then, the safety car coming in at the end of this lap for a 2-lap shootout to determine the race winner from this Belgian Grand Prix. It has been a slice of sparse sensation thus far. Klinsmann, though, wants to grip that sensation and turn his chances into a dumbfounding race victory. It's 2 laps to the end. It's a race lead for Dublin to hold on to, and we're back racing at the Belgian Grand Prix. Dublin races away from the opposition to start lap 21 of 22. Who's able to get a good restart? It seems like Duncan has lost the place. Calais obviously not being able to join part of the pack, but it's Schrei is within touching distance of Javaspor going into Rouge and Radion. Is the Alpine able to make an impression? They rage onto the Kemmel Sprint. The Aston Martin is going to have to defend to the inside. It's Schrei is spotting an opportunity. They race on towards the Les Combes chicane. The Alpine around the outside. He dances. He dazzles around the outside. But he goes off-road. He claims P3. It seems like that it's Schrei ran off-road, but he has granted himself a podium place. But if he kept it on road, that was a slick overtake. Verstappen ahead of CVTX Mask, Leo Kreitis awaiting in the wings as well. But Dublin still leading this race. Klinsmann wants to try and make an impression on him. He wants to be able to leap ahead of him. But with only just over a lap remaining, could this race be falling before the lap of Dublin, who has done so well to execute his chance? They will battle onto the final lap of this race. No DRS will be in action. Klinsmann wants to be able to win the race on road. It's Schrei ahead of Javaspor, making a majestic overtake into Les Combes. It seems like he was able to keep it on road. To the Alpine, P3 going on to the final lap of this race. Leo Kreitis and Chonk going side by side. It seems like the Ferrari really struggled on exit. CVTX Mask down the inside into Lassos. Weil makes contact with him once, twice, 3 times and loses 2 places. Max Verstappen racing on towards Rouge, and they're going to go side by side into Rouge. No, they're not. The AlphaTauri backs out of it. Weil is in the battle, so too is Chonk, who gets a majestic exit off of Radion and onto the Kemmel Straight. It's a 5-way battle for P7 in this race. CVTX Mask heads the battle. Weil down the inside of Max Verstappen. Chonk giving the AlphaTauri a hit, and Max Verstappen rejoining the track. Chonk rejoining the track behind Max Verstappen. But what a battle this is in the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Chonk down the inside of the AlphaTauri. He steals 9th place. Klinsmann on the final tour of this race wants to be able to win the race on road despite his time penalty. It has been a sublime drive from the Haas, who has defeated the odds to run in the podium places. It looks like it will be a podium place. He has driven his heart out in the Haas. Dublin will not really want to battle him unless he wants to take the win on road. But they will continue their battle on towards the final 2 corners of this race. Klinsmann breaking to the outside. But as Dublin faced so many challenges in this race, he has risen to the task and he grants himself the Belgian Grand Prix victory. He wins ahead of each Schrei in the end, with Klinsmann coming home in 3rd. It seems like there's been contactors. Max Verstappen perhaps has gone for a spin. But it is Dublin that wins once more. The championship leader extending his advantage in this racing division even further, and wins a thrilling Belgian Grand Prix. What another epic instalment of Zoom Racing League that was. Dublin extending his championship lead even further, and he's looking serene in this title fight. What another epic Zoom Racing League Grand Prix that was, and it's Dublin that wins out. So he wins ahead of its Stride. Klinsmann coming home into P3. P19 to P3. That is a fantastic drive there from the Haas. Cushy, P4. Jacob 5th ahead of CVTX Mask, Dravaspor, Weil, Leocritus and Duncan. Aston Martin, who locked out the front row, can only get a result of P7. Anguish for the Aston outfit. But it is joy and sensation for Dublin, who races away in this championship once more, away from the opposition. And it's unbridled joy for the Bull, who has been bulletproof this season. But that brings the end of another Zoom Racing League Grand Prix. The Belgian Grand Prix was truly something special. And if you ever wanted to know why Spa is something of a classic, you now know the answer. Thank you so very much, one and all, for your company on this Saturday evening, or wherever you are, and whatever time of day you are tuning in. It's certainly been another epic instalment. Make sure you return when Zoom Racing League returns. But until next time, goodbye.